It's no classic, but an 80s film did bring this story to the silver screen. Sort of. A very loosely based and frankly silly version, with a little spaceman who eventually crashes in Aurora, Texas, 1897. But the tale did not originate with Hollywood. No, this story was first told in the pages of the Dallas Morning News. It's been there in black and white for more than 100 years. April 19th, 1897, a story about an event 2 days prior.
About 6 o'clock this morning, the early risers of Aurora were astonished at the sudden appearance of the airship, which has been sailing through the country. It collided with Judge Proctor's windmill and went to pieces with a terrific explosion. The pilot is supposed to have been the only one on board, and while his remains are badly disfigured, he was not an inhabitant of this world. The town is full of people today who are viewing the wreck and gathering specimens of the strange metal from the debris.
Later editions state matter-of-factly that the spaceman was given Christian burial.
Whatever it was here. And more or less exploded or went to pieces, and there was just pieces scattered all over the place here. That's the story.
Author Jim Mars took us to the crash site. It's a high point in Wise County, Judge Proctor's old place. 25 years ago, Mars, then writing for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, and Dallas Times-Herald reporter Bill Case began to re-examine the old legend.
If it was just the Aurora story, it would be very easy to say, well, somebody just made that thing up.
Mars studied newspapers from 1896 to 1898, and he found them filled with eyewitness accounts and hand-drawn sketches of airships, many silver and cigar-shaped. Keep in mind, the Wright brothers didn't build a flying machine until 1903.
I came across dozens of other accounts, including the great airship that was seen over Chicago. They were still talking about that. They saw these things over San Francisco, all through the Midwest. There were stories all around in this area. Everybody couldn't have been having the same hoax at the same time.
In 1973, Mars and Case found 3 people who'd been alive and living near Aurora at the time of the crash.
As far as the living witnesses goes, there were 2 that said it happened. They had personal knowledge of it, and one said it was a hoax, but admitted she had no personal knowledge of it.
Old-timers directed Mars and Case to the spaceman's grave with its odd-shaped and chiseled headstone.
One part of it must have been missing. If you went ahead and extended this over to like this, and then if it looked the same on the other side, that's what you'd have on the tombstone, which is pretty intriguing.
Case ran a metal detector over the grave and got readings in 3 distinct places. Pieces of metal from the crash site were also analyzed by a physicist at North Texas State University, who found one of the samples, quote, puzzling. It is made up primarily of iron, wrote Dr. Tom Gray, but it's not magnetic. It is also shiny and malleable instead of dull and brittle like iron.
In both my accounts and in Bill Case's accounts, we raised the possibility or the question about maybe